Welcome back to Cooking with Gerry. I'm gonna get the fire started so we can do this fairly quickly. It's a bit windy, so hopefully the fire doesn't blow out. I'm going to add this spinach that I've cooked for about 2 minutes on a low heat and about 1 tablespoon of water. I'm going to add it to the pancake batter that I'll explain once I have it in the frying pan, because we'll have time to wait while the pancake cooks. And here is a banana. I'll show you how I cut it up. I put it in right at the end so it stays as small pieces instead of getting mashed as it would if it were in the beginning. So I just use the spoon and cut small slices. And I'll gently mix it so that the banana pieces stay as banana pieces. So there we go. Can you see? It's fairly liquidy, but during the cooking process it will become more solid. In the frying pan that's been heating for about a minute, I'm going to add a little bit of virgin olive oil. Never cooking with extra virgin oil, because it maintains, the extra virgin maintains its properties much better and it's more nutritious if it's not cooked. So here I'm going to put, I'm almost finished my coconut oil, about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. My frying pan in the middle is worn out a little bit, hasn't quite flaked yet, which that was some advice a few videos ago. As soon as the Teflon pan starts to flake, it's advised to not use it anymore, because the Teflon flaking away will become part of your food and you'll end up eating it. So I'm pouring the batter into the frying pan. And I'm going to spread it out, make sure that the spinach and banana are evenly, not precisely, but at least somewhat even amongst the batter. Amongst, fun word. So, there we go. And now we wait. Gonna clean off the spoon. Little bit of batter got on my board. So this is going here. This also, this is being closed. And the lid closed. This will go here too. So, excuse me for this abrupt right away to cooking. It's been an unusual day, but I wanted to do this, so I'm doing it, even though it's not going to be perfect and as calm as I normally am. It's a pancake. What I did, the ingredients, I put 4 tablespoons of a mixture I have of quinoa and amaranth powder. They're together, 4 tablespoons. And 1 tablespoon of maca root powder. It's from a plant that grows locally in this country. It's one of those superfoods. And also 1 tablespoon of what's called 7 seeds flour. But it's not a flour, it's a powder. So there's no flour in the batter. So I mixed that with a little bit of water. You don't want to have too much water with this kind of pancake because since there's no wheat flour, it's more fragile, more delicate, like a cake batter. So just a little bit of water, I mixed everything, and then I let it sit for about 5 hours. It was my plan for lunch, but I'm doing a project up on the main floor with cement, and sometimes working with cement, it's time sensitive. So I skipped lunch, so it was sitting in this little container for about 5 hours. And then beforehand, before starting the video, I put 2 eggs, about half a teaspoon of salt, and about a tablespoon of virgin olive oil. Mixed it together. That's the main batter. And then I mashed up the first banana, and then you saw me add the spinach. The spinach in the small frying pan, about a tablespoon of water, cooked for 2 minutes. The reason I like to cook the spinach beforehand is to get it a bit soft, so it goes together well with the batter, and it's not crunchy when I put it in the batter. And then the last part was, as I sliced the banana. So that's what this is. Sometimes I'll also put oat flakes at the beginning for the pre-soak process. I had porridge this morning with the video we made, really tasty. So I didn't want to have oats again for dinner. Pancakes for dinner is about once a week for me. It's I call it a pancake because I don't know what else to call it. But it's not your traditional pancake. It doesn't have the wheat flour or the sugar that most pancakes have. Last week's pancake was with broccoli, really tasty. And I used different powders. Not these powders, I have some other powders, alfalfa powder, quinoa powder, which is a seed, English pronunciation might be quinoa, coca powder from the plant that also produces cocaine, but it's green, not white, and it's healthy. There's the arracacha, it's got 2 R's, that you saw this morning if you watched the video. So pancakes, but not really pancakes for dinner, about once a week. It's easy, depends if I have vegetables or no vegetables. Today I have vegetables, but I wanted to show you banana pancake because I know a lot of people enjoy the banana pancake. One thing I wanted to show you with this process is the lid is now full of condensation. I don't want water, so I'm going to drop the water. This is an unfinished concrete floor. I wouldn't do this on a pretty ceramic tile floor. And then I'll take the towel and I'll dry it. Water will make the batter more unstable, and we need to do the flip as you would do with a normal pancake. So that's one step that I always do when I'm making this kind of pancake. I'll make sure that there's not so much water going to drop into the pancake. Bananas for me is about once or twice a month. It's a fruit, it's healthy, but there's a lot of sugar. So once or twice a month, I mean that can change, but that's basically how often I eat banana. As I walked from this small store up the hill, there was an older lady and she had her bananas on a table out front, covered with a towel because the sun was beaming on them, and with the sun it'll make the bananas ripen much quicker. These are local bananas. There's lots of banana trees in this area. Other options would be, I mean, pancakes, so many different options. If you want it sweet, you could add dried fruit, raisins, cranberries, blueberries. My favorite at the moment is dates, but it's just so sweet. So a few times a week I'll have the date in either a pancake or oatmeal porridge. And sometimes I'll put it with a vegetable dish just to add a little bit of sweetness if I think I want something a little bit sweet. Dried apricot, kiwi, pineapple, dried pineapple would be quite exciting in a pancake. And you can make an activity with the family. You can prepare the batter and then put the batter in separate bowls and invite Johnny over, who is 8 years old. He doesn't like raisins, he doesn't like blueberries, but he likes apricot and he likes oat flakes and he likes bananas. You can put that for Johnny. And you know what I mean. You can also add meat. Bacon would be great if you eat bacon. I don't because I don't consider it healthy, but I know what bacon tastes like. I have a memory and it tastes awesome. I just don't eat it anymore. Chicken, all this meat you'd want to pre-cook because this cooking time is fairly short and it might not fully cook depending on the meat that you have. Ground beef would be good. Sprinkle some cheese on it, whatever your favorite cheese is. So now it's almost solid. I'm tilting it because there is some oil on the side. And I've had experiences where when I'm flipping it, the wave of oil comes up and it lands on the floor. So I want the oil to be on the pancake so it can absorb a little bit into the pancake on top, because that's the next side that's going to be cooked. If you haven't watched the videos where I express the benefit of a spatula like this, let me repeat those words. You see what I'm doing? I get to clean the edge almost perfectly with this kind of spatula. It's decent quality. Don't get the cheaper versions. I've seen them. They come in a package of 3 different sizes and it's much cheaper, but that kind of spatula doesn't have the flexibility that this kind does. It's like a rubber. And if you're concerned about the heat, this kind of spatula is very similar to, pardon me, this kind of spatula in terms of chemistry. It's just this is a hard plastic, this is a soft rubber. This one is good, but sometimes with use you get these sharp burnt edges, and that could possibly scratch the Teflon surface. A wooden spatula is also very handy, but in this case it's not going to be able to get the edge, the curved edge of the frying pan. It won't get there. So this is the best tool. So I try to let this cook a little bit longer than I would a normal pancake because it's fragile. I have missed the flip before. Not too often, thankfully. But it's happened often enough that I want to be careful. I forgot to tell you, in the batter also there are 2 whole walnuts that I cut up into small pieces after I rinsed it, and about 4 cashews. It's what I had left. I would prefer more of the cashews, but I emptied the bag to put them in this batter. And the washing part, dried fruit or dried nuts or seeds or beans, the washing process before you eat it, I think is necessary to remove what's known as field dust, which is a general term that refers to whatever got on the items, nut, seed, dried fruit, bean, in between the farm and your home. At the factory, the handling. Okay, you ready? see if I can get it. There's one weak edge. I'm gonna move it around so I don't get the weak edge. Weak edge. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. You gotta do it without hesitation. So if you're hesitating, let me show you. It looks awesome. See that? So I got the flip. I was concerned because it's a fairly delicate batter. After I get the flip, I like to cut the circle. So I've cut it both ways. So now there's 4 pieces, and then I cut it again. This allows the heat to get in between those cut edges, and I think it helps with the cooking process. Maybe I'm wrong. So I'll do that. Give them some space in between each slice. And we're almost done. This is going to be a very tasty dinner. I don't normally do the fruit at night. I've learned recently that fruit's better in the morning, and I learned a long time ago that fruit's better on an empty stomach. But today I'm having banana for dinner. So that's pancake. Lots of different options, lots of different variations. You can try different powders. If you want to use the wheat flour, go for it. The reason why I don't use the wheat flour is because the science says wheat flour, because it's so processed, it very quickly turns to sugar once it enters your stomach. So I try to minimize as much sugar that the sugar that I eat. Now you'll see maybe there's condensation on the lid. Now it's not a problem because I've done the flip. So I have no problem drizzling the water on the pancake. It's just the pre-flip. You have to keep things a bit drier. Another useful tip is you could do this in the oven. Make a big batter, put it in a rectangular cake tray or whatever kind of oven suitable tray you have. And I prefer to line the tray with oven paper or parchment paper. Makes cleanup a lot easier. Put it in the oven at, we'll say 370, somewhere around there, and it could take 40 minutes to an hour depending on how thick it is and how strong your oven is and how much you've made. In that sense, there's more variety because you don't have to worry about the flip. Vegetables are a great option. Like I said, last week was broccoli. Today it's spinach. And if you make a big enough batter and there's leftovers, you can put it in the fridge once it's cooled, or you can put it in the freezer once it's cooled. You don't want to put it in the freezer when it's still warm, because if you put it in a bag, the warmth will cause condensation inside the bag as it freezes. If I have to put it in the freezer when it's still warm, I will leave the bag open, and then the next morning when the pancake square has frozen, then I can close the bag. And if you have these in the freezer, it's a much healthier alternative than your typical toast for breakfast or sandwich for lunch. If you cut it in half, if the squares are thick enough, you can cut it in half and then freeze it, and then it's perfect for a sandwich. Much healthier than a regular white or even the whole wheat bread you'll find at the local grocery store. So this guy is done. Now I like being honest with you, so What I also do, you can see it's in these pretty triangles, which you can leave it like that, especially if the person you're serving it to likes it to be in these triangular form. Triangular shapes, but I cut it a bit more into bite-sized pieces, and this way the heat gets to even more of the pancake. You can do random pieces. So that's my dinner. What I'm going to do when I'm ready to eat, I have to go back upstairs and check on the cement progress. I need to spray some water because one of the pieces I did, it's a very thin layer of cement and very easy for a thin layer to crack if it dries too quickly. So I'm not going to eat right now, maybe in 10-15 minutes when I come back downstairs. I'm going to put some kind of extra virgin oil on it, and that's my dinner. Maybe I won't finish it all, but if I don't, I've got a partial breakfast for tomorrow morning. So give it a try. Different combinations. This is a healthy dinner. It's balanced as far as what's sugar and what's not sugar, and which means my blood sugar level will be fine. And it's going to be very tasty. So every biteful, first of all, will be different, and every biteful will be enjoyable. So that's our second video of pancakes, and maybe we'll do one more. Depends on if I have an idea to share with you about a different kind of pancake. But for now, let's sign off and enjoy this pancake.